Let's be honest. Overthinking doesn't just happen. It builds. Quietly, slowly, relentlessly. One thought turns into 10. 10 thoughts turn into a full spiral. And somewhere in that spiral, your mind quietly begins to rewrite the story. It's my fault. I must have said something wrong. Maybe they're upset because of me. Even when nothing obvious happened, you still carry the weight, just in case. But what if I told you this doesn't mean you're guilty? It means you've been conditioned to expect blame, to find fault in yourself before anyone else can. That's not weakness. That's survival. The psychology behind overthinking. Psychologists say overthinking is often rooted in a nervous system stuck in fight or flight, especially for those who grew up with criticism, emotional unpredictability, or unclear boundaries. The brain learns, if I can anticipate the problem, I can avoid the pain. So you scan every word, every silence, every interaction. Not because you're overdramatic, but because your mind is trying to protect you from rejection, judgment, or abandonment. It's not just in your head, it's in your nervous system. It's your brain reacting as if danger is around the corner, even when you're just sitting alone in your room. And that kind of mental exhaustion, it's not weakness. It's evidence that you've been carrying too much for too long. The cost of self-blame. Self-blame becomes the default setting for many people who've had to keep the peace. You apologize first, you over-explain, you check your tone, your message, your existence, over and over again. Not because you think you're always wrong, but because you fear what happens if you're not perfect. But here's something powerful. Not everything that feels like your fault is your fault. Sometimes you are made to feel responsible for other people's moods, their silence, their discomfort, when in truth, their reactions had nothing to do with you. Let that sink in. Their silence doesn't mean you were too much. Their bad day doesn't mean you did something wrong. Their leaving doesn't mean you were unworthy of staying. You're not responsible for how others choose to handle their emotions. You're only responsible for how gently you handle yours. Here is a new way to respond to your fear. When overthinking shows up next time, instead of fighting it, try welcoming it. Not because you like it, but because you're ready to understand it. Say, hey, I see you. I know you're scared. I know you're trying to protect me. But we're not in that situation anymore. We're safe now. Speak to your mind the way you would speak to a child having a nightmare. With softness. With truth. With love. Because you can't heal anxiety with self-judgment. You heal it with curiosity, with reassurance, with self-compassion. So, no, it's not always your fault. It was never about being perfect. It was about feeling safe enough to just be. Let yourself exhale. Let yourself be forgiven. Let yourself rest in the truth that you are not broken. You are just healing from carrying too much, too quietly, for too long. Your fear isn't the enemy. It's a part of you asking for peace. And you're allowed to give it. Subscribe for weekly comfort, clarity, and healing.